my friends. It's so good to be here with you again. And I would like to talk about things that will be important not only in this week, but I think at any time. And if you do this, it will help you to grow as a better person as you are reaching for your dreams. And it is to admit and to embrace your weaknesses and your strengths equally. And I know that for most people that the idea of admitting a weakness on its own is a really big thing, much as the idea of embracing them. But think about it this way, where the idea of trying to pretend that there's something that you're not good at, or maybe don't even like, but are doing it because there might be a fear of vulnerability or being thought of less than, can create a tremendous, tremendous stress and sometimes anxiety that can stay with you. So I would like to have you reframe the idea of what a quote-unquote weakness is. Weakness is not a flaw in character. I know that it has that connotation here. But on the good red road, if you will, the idea of where you are not strong gives an opening. Yes, I agree with you. It is a vulnerability, 100%. But if you see that vulnerability as an opening, an opportunity to allow for somebody to assist you, then it does a variety of things. The one major thing that you will really enjoy is the reclaiming of time and energy that was spent on worrying about, can you keep up with whatever it is that you were trying to, I'm going to say, present as if it was a strength or something that you really, really liked. And if you ask somebody who is, again, kind, who doesn't have any ulterior motives, then you will find that they will have an empathy, and a compassion as they help you. They will not make you feel less than. There's not going to be any judgment attached. If anything, there's going to be a joy that you allowed for that to happen. And think about it. I know many of you out there feel the same way that I do. There is a pleasure in being able to help people. There is that sense of community, that sense of fellowship that can happen when someone asks you to help them. And with that, you can get better at what you do because that person's invitation in that way. When you ask someone who has wisdom that can act as a mentor, a teacher, a counselor, in addition to assisting you with whatever the task is, they can teach you how to manage a similar problem or situation so that you can navigate yourself. They can heal you from the past. They can help you to reframe problems or issues that you have so that with just that little bit of a change, you can see something completely different that you didn't before. And the person of wisdom guides you on how to make things usually smoother and better. I know some of my best teachers, they might have me work for it, but in the end I was so grateful because I developed skills. They would push me in ways that I never would have dared to push myself, and I became all the better for it. So when you begin to view, and again it's use the air quotes of weaknesses, as something that is not a flaw, all right? Thank heavens we can't be everything to everybody. Only Creator can do that. And when you begin to embrace your humanity in that way, and that it's okay, it's all of us, a cast of billions on the planet, have areas of where we're not as good at, or have that same sort of passion in an area, but others do, and we can ask them to step in. But as initially counterintuitive as it might seem, embracing your strengths is just as important. And you'll say, well, Skyfire, how is that so? And I put you to a test. I bet the vast majority of you out there can handle when somebody gives you an insult easier than someone giving you a compliment. You can feel awkward, huh? Well, I find a lot of times with talking with many people around the world, it's that same idea of feeling very self-conscious or awkward with admitting a strength that you have. So I want to set some guidelines with that. Uh, if you have a strength, a predisposition, a natural talent for something, you're going to naturally like it. You're going to tend to gravitate to activities and people and events where you can really just explore that. And as long as you do it without being boastful, arrogant, self-serving, then you're going to find that people are really grateful that you're there. And with that, as you were on the other side in the area of where maybe you weren't as capable or strong or whatever, pick an adverb, adjective, whatever, and you would ask for help, then this is the flip side of the coin. This is where someone would come to you. And what I find is very important is just to be very, again, here, same thing, very honest, just like you would admit a weakness, and saying, this is how proficient I am at something. And to set good boundaries. Just because you can be an expert at something or have a lot of experience doesn't mean that you have to offer everybody just open range on your time and your energy. You have a life too. So when you can be very honest and explain, this is my level of proficiency, this is the amount of time and energy that I can devote to helping you for what you're asking for, then you're honoring yourself, and then you're also giving that person the opportunity to decide if they would like for you to assist them or not. But what I find a lot of times is that folks can feel very, very self-conscious about saying, hey, I'm good at. Why not? Why not? If you're good at something, grow it. If you're good at something and you begin to share it, it makes it a heck of a lot easier for people to find you. And think about if you don't. This is one thing that I remember. I was very, I know you guys probably can't believe it, shy. And extremely so when it came to stepping out and to sharing my gifts, as I am with all of you today. And thank you for giving me encouragement. And I remember one of the elders back in my day, Seneca elder, said, well, if you do not step into your position, then someone else will, who may not have the same heart, who may not have the same skill. And then, it's not as good of a result. So think about it in this day, in this culture, how there can be those, unfortunately, people who are not necessarily as, I'll say their moral compass can be a little, flexible. And they don't have a problem presenting themselves as an expert, as a teacher, as what have you. And then other people who don't know any better go to them and they get hurt. Well, if you step up to what your skill is, and I know one of my favorite things is teaching people what to look for, then if you're assuming your position, as I remember that Seneca elder told me once, then that other person who could, sometimes people can outright pretend to be something that they're not. But because you are there, people find you and they receive the help from a kind heart like they deserve. So how does this help you to reach your dreams? Well, I think that's self-evident. If you are playing to your strengths and apply your strengths in the way that you love them, because I hear that as well, where, I'm good at this, so say for example, okay, I'm good at writing, so I'm just going to be stuck with writing, say, straight news articles. Well, unless if you're somebody who's a reporter and you really enjoy that journalistic style, you can do it, but then your strength really becomes very unpleasant. But say if you're a writer and you love writing stories, maybe you like even writing music, a different form of writing altogether, I know, then you're going to find that your passion combines with your creativity, and it becomes very contagious in that sense. So the other common thing between embracing weaknesses and strengths is, I've already alluded to it, connecting with other people. You'll connect with them in different ways, but by doing so, you begin to meet with people who have similar interests, kindred spirits, communities, and you begin to realize that you're not an island. That is what makes it so lovely and so wonderful. You begin to realize that there's so many people that you can share with, share interests, share ideas. And I'll tell you one thing that's really cool about when somebody comes to me and they feel that they're new or they're self-conscious about beginning. I love it when people who are just new come to me, because in a way it is like having the eyes of a child. They don't know what's possible or impossible yet. They'll ask questions that make me think, and I can see the world through their eyes versus my own. So when you're doing this with, again, with the weaknesses, as I call, it opens the door. It allows for connection for people who have different skills that complement your own, that strengthen you. When you offer your strengths with, again, boundaries and parameters, so that, again, there is balance within that, you can feel a sense of purpose. You can feel a sense of really being able to contribute. And so it is in this way. I say it's like the butterfly. You know, if you've ever seen a butterfly fly, it's never in a straight line. They go like Woodstock from Snoopy. They just go like this, flying like this. And when we grow our strengths and our weaknesses, it'll be like that. Sometimes you're focusing more on growing and learning your weaknesses, and that becomes a bigger wing. And sometimes with your strengths like this. But in the end, if you embrace the idea of, hey, this is both part of me, they're both aspects. One opens the door for connection in the sense that I can focus on what I need to learn, and maybe something I'll never be good at, and I just give somebody the ability to assist me. So that gives you the time and energy to focus on your strengths, what you want to grow, so that you can offer that in return to whether it be that direct individual or the world. And you become a butterfly with two balanced wings, two wings of the same size. And no, you're not going to fly in a straight line, even so. But think of it this way. The reason why I mentioned the butterfly in this particular teaching is, since the butterfly never flies in a straight line, life doesn't go in a straight line. At least mine hasn't. Maybe you're one of those fortunate that it does. Mine doesn't. But don't look at those little side trips as points of aggravation. Look at them as opportunity to see different things you haven't before, where Great Spirit is giving you a chance to apply yourself in different ways so that you become stronger and maybe touch resources that you wouldn't have had you been driving headlong this way. The butterfly touches sweetness when it can. So show gratitude to those who help you. Let them know how much you appreciate. And then when you give of your strengths, again, appreciation that they allowed you to share their vulnerabilities, that they allowed for you to grow stronger in your wisdom and your experience, because they gave you that permission to assist them. And also, too, between the both of them, there will be aggravation. So when I say touch sweetness, allow yourself to be human, breathe, and do something kind for yourself every day. Whether you're focusing on moving and breakthroughs with weaknesses, or breakthroughs of going to the next level of growing your strengths. And finally, as well, with the butterfly spirit, is one of paying attention. These are little animals that really have to pay attention to what's going on weather-wise and wind-wise, or else they don't make it. So when there is a time of pursuing others to assist you with your weaknesses and having those breakthroughs of those old limitations, or that push to become stronger at what you do. When I say pay attention to the weather, the first climate you need to pay attention to is your own inner being. You're going to have good days and bad days. And when it's stormy weather like that, do like the butterfly, rest. Maybe it's a good sunny day, but not too many people. Then begin practicing what you already have on hand, regardless if it's a weakness or a strength. Maybe it is a beautiful day with plentiful flowers and much beautiful water. Then this represents the experiences and people where you can land in order to be able to grow and to be nourished. And so, my friends, this is what I wanted to share with you, especially during these challenging times. There are times of extremes, and I've spoken with several of you, and the extremes internally, externally, and I just wanted to have you breathe. Be you, do you. You are enough. All of you, the strengths, the weaknesses, the joys, the frustrations, can all lead you towards your dreams, can all lead you to growing, to being a better person, to grow empathy, to grow compassion, patience, but I would rather use the word perseverance. Patience is very passive. Perseverance means that you take on what takes you on at the moment. You are paying attention to the rhythms of life, both internally and around you, much like the butterfly pays attention to the rhythm of the weather. And so with this, my dear ones, I want to say, Wanishi, thank you so much. I always appreciate to those of you for your love and support. Every time you like, you subscribe, you share, it spreads the positivity. It helps me a lot. It helps all of us a lot. So I thank you for your continued support. If you really enjoyed this video, please, by all means, drop me a comment, share, and I'd love your thoughts, any suggestions for any future videos. So once again, Wanishi, from my heart to yours, I wish you the brightest of blessings. Until we're together again, I thank you so, so much.